guys, so today I am driving the Range Rover Velar, and the version that I'm testing here, this is the mid-range model of 3 variants available in Malaysia. It is the one with the 2-litre Ingenium engine making 260 horsepower, fitted with R Dynamic trim. Okay, R Dynamic means it is the sportier trim lah. It's like M Sport, R Design, AMG line trim of the other premium brands. Okay, you can also specify this 2-litre engine with a standard trim. Okay, can't remember what they call it lah, but you know, it's the non-R Dynamic trim. Or you can also spec up to the 3-litre supercharged V6 engine, also with R Dynamic trim. Okay, so three choices for your picking. And naturally, most of us would think that you know, this mid-range model, complete with R Dynamic trim, as well as the attractive 2-litre engine, right, which has, of course, in the Malaysian context, gives you road tax benefits. This you would expect will be Land Rover's key seller of the Velar's range, and I would say that on paper this is definitely the most attractive because it offers that usable performance. Okay, 260 horsepower is, you may scoff that it's only a 2-litre engine, but 260 horsepower, 250 horsepower, 360 Newton meters, at the end of the day, it's still decent performance. All right, and you are paying the road tax of a 2-litre engine at the end of the day. So it is a very, I would say, it is a very well-balanced choice on paper. And on the road, I would say performance-wise, this 2-litre engine certainly is not lacking in any way. But then again, most 250 horsepower 2-litre turbo engines give you enough performance to use for most cars. I mean, even a 7 Series, a BMW 7 Series now runs on a 2-litre engine. So what is a Range Rover Velar? No big deal. Okay, but of course, as I have always pointed out in my videos, there is an intangible, you know, there's that intangible sense of added smoothness you get with a large capacity engine that you won't be able to replicate in a 2-litre turbo, however well you manage your boost levels. There is that sense of effortlessness with a big capacity engine that you cannot duplicate in a turbocharged small displacement engine. No way. But is it to say this is unusable? It is not. The performance on offer here is very usable. You can carry highway speeds. You can sustain highway speeds on this with very little effort, thanks also partly to the excellent ZF 8HP 8-speed automatic transmission. You can do speeds of 110 kilometers per hour, well under 2000 RPM on the tachometer. Okay, so the driving performance is good enough. And besides, if you are driving an SUV, you don't need it to be super fast anyway. You are seated in a, you don't need it to have the performance of a sports car. Right, but the Velar here, the positioning of the Velar, it is a very interesting one because it slots above the Evoque but below the Range Rover Sport. Okay, so many comments from, you know, existing Land Rover and Range Rover owners that have that bought the Velar, they commented that the Velar now suddenly feels too car-like. Okay, and I do see where they are coming from, because in the Velar you sit relatively low to the ground. You don't have that, you know, perched on top feeling as you typically get with other Land Rovers or Range Rover models. This one, it does seem that, you know, Land Rover put in a bit more effort to make the Velar feel more car-like. Now, of course, if you evaluate it objectively without taking the brand heritage into consideration, the Velar's driving dynamics is pretty alright, right? In the sense that, so in the conditions that I've driven it thus far, it feels comfortable enough. The suspension has very good travel that enables it to make short work of bumps. Okay, so on the surface, it would seem that the kind of typical all-action ability that all Land Rover chassis should have is present here in the Velar. Okay, and the fact that you sit closer to the ground, you sit lower, you also get a bit more confidence to push this car harder around bends. You know, you feel more stable when you are taking a fast corner. All right, in a way, you can think of the Velar as something that aspires to be a sports car interpretation of what a Range Rover is. But the question is, Land Rover of all brands, you do not have it does not have that you know, imperative really to make its vehicles feel more car-like, because people who buy Land Rovers want their cars to feel, you know, a bit more perched up, a bit more rugged, a bit more robust, with, you know, but of course at the same time lined with, you know, all the trimmings of luxury. But what they really are not looking for when people buy a Land Rover is that they don't want to feel like they are driving in a perched up passenger car, and that is where some of the grouses are coming from. Alright guys, so the Velar comes with, well, it came to us with these two items. This is your regular key fob, which you lock and unlock the car. This is what they call the activity key. So this is the key you use to lock your car. Okay, let's say you go jogging, you go swimming, you go hiking, whatever. You don't want to bring this key fob in case you lose or you damage or wet it, right? So this one is a waterproof key where you can take this, go swimming, and whatever, sweat kena, no problem. Okay, so what you do is that this key, okay, keep this key aside, keep this key somewhere secure, maybe inside here, okay, up to you, hidden away from sight, and turn off the engine. So once you off the engine, right, you have 30 seconds to get down. Okay, now I'm going to hold this here. So you see that the handle, that's still emerged. So you put this next to the Land Rover badge to the left, and the car now is locked. Okay, cannot go in. Now, how do you so now that everything is done, you want to go home. Okay, so to unlock your car, what you need to do is come here, press this button. Okay, press the button to open the boot lid. Press it one time. Put this activity key next to the Land Rover badge, and your door is unlocked. Okay, so let's get on with our walk around of the rest of the car. Now, appearance wise, the overall profile of this car, very familiar if you are a Land Rover, Range Rover fan. All the usual styling cues are there. Okay, so you see especially the two-tone body, okay, black on top, body paint in the middle, right? And let's come to the front. This is also the distinctive Range Rover front face, okay, with the slim headlights and this large grille with the Range Rover wording proudly printed on the bonnet, right? Well, these aggressive vents here, these aggressive slats here, okay, show that this is the sportier R dynamic trim. And right on the top of the hood, either side, you have these two little trim pieces here. They serve purely aesthetic purpose, but it's a nice touch of detail. You have one on each side. Okay, here over also, this is another trim piece here. A nice touch here that joins this front fender area to the door. Okay, you notice that the hood also follows something of a clamshell design. Alright, alloy wheels, very simple, unpretentious design. Yep, so here's a very subtle R dynamic badge. And yeah, so you see, when the doors are locked, right, okay, the door handle sinks into the door panel. But when you unlock the door, okay, it comes out, it emerges out. Very nice. And nice part is when you open the door, okay, let me just demonstrate this again. So I lock this, right? So I lock, okay, so the side step retracts. When you unlock and open, the side step comes out. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay, you come to the back, okay, very slim tail lights. The Range Rover badge here, wording spanning across. Yeah. So let's. The bumpers are also very chunky, very thick. So really befits the SUV kind of look on this car. So we open this. Okay, powered tailgate opening, very nice. Okay, so here the boot, you got this net here to hold loose things. Underneath here, there's a space saver spare tire. Wow, but not bad. Check this out. You got 4 utility hooks here. All right, to hold all your shopping, your groceries, whatever. 12-volt socket here. There's also a remote release latch to fold your seats down. Very convenient. I admire this. Okay, that one must be held back by one of our bags. Yes. Okay, Abang Fadil's luggage here from Singapore. Okay, so you can see here the boot floor, not perfectly flat but seamless, so you can rest things out here without fearing them, you know, moving about. Okay, lift it up. It's a nice heavy feel to it, and wow, look at this. Okay, so here, this button here adjusts the recline angle of your seat back. It's a very gentle adjustment, if at all. Okay, here, center armrest. Wow, very plain, Okay, rear aircon vent. Not sure what this is. Got a 12-volt socket here. Okay, and door pocket. Wow, check this out. So here's the door card. Very nice layered door card. So you see here, this finish here has nice textures to it, and then here is brushed metal. This is the speaker here. Wow, 2 speakers here. All right, and then there's this door pocket here. Well, decent length. You can put like maybe your wallet here. Isofix mounts here. Okay, so you have to pull this plastic cover to expose the Isofix mount, and yeah. Okay, then you have to put this back. How do you put this back? Put this back. Okay, done. Okay, let's sit inside. Abang Fadil, boleh minta just tolong pegang kamera kejap?
Boleh.
Terima kasih. Okay, so right here got, well, here got panoramic roof so got good headroom. Leg room is good. What's more important, I've got good thigh support. So if I was sitting here for a long distance trip, my legs here won't feel so tired. Okay, yeah, so let's go to the front. Okay, terima kasih Abang Fadil.
Sama-sama.
Okay guys, remember subscribe Fadil's channel. Tak payah nak lagak gaya bro. Okay, dah suruh orang subscribe channel dah. You're the best. Okay, so let's come to the front. And okay, so here is the design of here's the front end dashboard. So let's get inside. So here at one glance, everything looks very minimalist. Then you start the engine. Here you have the virtual instrument clusters. All right. Okay, so one more thing, the doors. Okay, also the same, you know, multi-layered design here. Okay, good mix of materials. And here you see also the same textured plastic here. This is a nice touch, I would say. This one is also a good soft touch plastic, but here, ayo, suddenly here become keras. And my major gripe with this cabin is this. The tactile feel of this stock really is very, very poor. It is not acceptable for a car at this price. So this is the rotary gear knob. Okay, that controls the 8-speed transmission from ZF. Okay, and here, so overall here, right, Land Rover tried to achieve, like, you know, a single nice seamless design here. So I was surprised. I'm surprised that this cup holder section here, there's no lid here, and the choice of materials look good, but they also at the same time look very susceptible to, you know, smudge. Okay, open this. This mechanism also does not appear particularly convincing, but it feels okay lah. It feels solid. It's just that the movement doesn't feel particularly refined, and the finishing here, okay, the gap, this panel, not very consistent. Okay, open up. Okay, this feels nicely solid and chunky. Two-piece opening. This center console box is deep. Okay, 2 USB ports here, micro SIM slot, 12-volt socket. Alright, so we look at the screens here. The resolution of these screens are nice. Okay, instrument cluster, the center screen, all very good resolution. Okay, please forgive the flickering. And okay, so you can see, let me just show you some of the functions. So okay, here, this one also I don't understand. This is the 360-degree camera, all right, and from here it looks clear, but I don't understand why do they orient this in such a way that, you know, it is so small, this image, right? You get active parking assist, right? You can do perpendicular park, parallel park, whatever lah. All this no need, and got the home screen. And yeah, so it is the swipe function, which is good. Okay, the response appears crisp. And here is the this lower screen here controls other features. You can control your vehicle drive mode. Your aircon control also is here. It's also operated here. Okay, you adjust your fan speed. What about temperature? What about the temperature? This is your toggle your recirculating volume. Okay, but yeah, interestingly, where is the temperature? Okay, so so you press climate here, and then you adjust the temperature this way. All right. Not the most intuitive control system, I would say, but full marks for screen resolution. But I think I would still prefer physical control buttons for the air conditioning. Okay, you move here, these steering mounted controls. I quite like the steering mounted controls, right? Cruise control and, you know, all this. Okay, this activates your lane keep assist. All right, so the overall build of this cabin is pretty decent. Okay, it's, oh yeah, one more thing I didn't show earlier. Okay, let me just show you here again. Let's go to settings. Okay, you can actually adjust your screen angle. Okay, you can adjust this screen angle, and when the car is switched off, all right, this screen is flush with the dashboard. Nice touch. All right, so the overall quality of the cabin, from what I can see here, is pretty decent. All right, it's just that, you know, for some interesting reason, despite being of the same company, right, JLR somehow builds Land Rover and Range Rover cabins more solidly than they do with Jaguar cabins. This is something that I've observed with a few cars, but I don't fully understand. So on its own, right, the Velar has quite a few things going for it. It is, well, it drives well, engine is powerful enough, yet it carries only the burden of 2 liters of road tax. So, and it is also a convincingly luxurious SUV. No brand, you know, is able to carry the combination of luxury and ruggedness quite effectively the way Range Rover manages. And the Velar carries enough of Range Rover styling cues and also the Range Rover aura for it to be a convincing member of the family. Now, as said earlier, right, the Velar is very car-like in its behavior, so that may be a bit of a turn off for some of the more traditional Range Rover customers. The other factor is that the 2-liter engine that it uses, all right, is also a double-edged sword. It is powerful enough to get the Velar moving at high speeds, but at the same time, you know, it does not have the kind of presence or the effortless progress that a large capacity engine offers. So some would think that, you know, at this price range, you know, for a Range Rover, you need a large capacity engine to really carry the vehicle in a dignified manner. And the Velar with the 2-liter turbo engine, it does not do that. But still, I think what really the main appeal of this vehicle really is that it opens the Range Rover brand to a whole new set of customers, right? Traditional, you know, Range Rover, Land Rover customers may not be too enamored by what the Velar has to offer, but what the Velar really does is that it brings new customers into the brand, right? With its blend of characteristics, it widens the appeal of the Range Rover brand to an entirely new audience, and that really is its place within the lineup.